So now Trump has come down on Trump used to be an American first guy. He's not. He's an American first occasionally. He's Israel first. And so people who are peacefully protesting in the United States, and that's what they're doing, they're peacefully protesting, Donald Trump is siding with a foreign country over them. And he says, do you think that the radical left lunatics that are causing all of the chaos? So you think people who are carpet bombing Gaza right now, the occupiers, the Zionists, they're not lunatics? They're not the genociders? This is amazing, right? So do you think, hey, there are radical left lunatics in the country. Right now, they don't have any power. You know who have all the power? The radical establishment lunatics, like Joe Biden, the Democrats, and the Republicans, who all agree on the worst of things. Just like he agreed, he just got in bed with Mike Johnson, Joe Biden, to pass funding. He supported that. The more funding, remember Donald Trump used to go around saying, I'm going to end the Ukraine war in 24 hours?
Yeah.
Now he's like, no, we're going to fund it. I'm funding it.
I still don't understand why they went to him at all with that. A guy who's not president that they have on trial. Hey, we need you to get on board with this.
We need you, but they did. I guess to try to get some of the right-wing base to go along with it. So here's what he tweeted out on his Truth Social. By the way, he just got $2 billion more from Truth Social. I don't know anybody who goes on there. I had to go on there to get this, though. Do you think that the radical left lunatics that are causing all the chaos at our colleges and universities are doing so in order to take the focus away from our southern border? No. I don't think that's why they're doing. Wow. No. Talk about bending yourself in a pretzel, where millions of people, many from prisons and mental institutions, are pouring into our country, just asking, well, I'll let you know. No, that's not why they're doing it.
Yeah, right.
They're not doing that so like he's trying to say they're running cover for Joe Biden. No, that's not what they're doing. They're actually telling Joe Biden they're not going to vote for him, and they're actually protesting Joe Biden's policies of supporting a genocide in Gaza, which would be your same So Donald Trump and Joe Biden now agree on all the most horrible things.
And why is Ukraine getting more fucking money too? I already knew he was all the way in Zionist, but Ukraine?
And here's a Trumper who we've had on the show. This guy used to be MAGA, Jake Shields. I don't know, maybe he still is, but he says Trump wants to make protesting Israel illegal. They serve the same master, and he showed this. Stop the protests now. This is what Donald Trump tweeted out on his Truth Social or whatever. Stop the protests now. And he says they serve the same master. Now, there's nothing in there that says Donald Trump wants to make it illegal, except he does. Because he wants because I'll show you. He wants the cops to come in. I'm going to show you a video in a second. And he wants the cops to come in and crack their heads and arrest them. By the way, those students who are protesting over Gaza have nothing to gain. It's not going to help them in their business and their career. They're getting suspended now. They're getting arrested. They're getting arrest records. That makes it much harder to get a job. They're getting... They have nothing to gain by doing this. So I want to show you this. So while it's fun to watch Donald Trump piss off the donor class and stick his thumb in their eye from time to time, and it is, he is a swamp creature who is only occasionally America first. He didn't give a blue-collar tax cut. He gave a tax cut to billionaires. He didn't invest that money back here. He didn't give everybody a job like he said, and he didn't give everybody health care. Remember, he said when he was running,
terrific health care.
I'm going to make them a deal. I'm going to go to the hospitals and
you have the best health care you've ever seen. You're not going to believe this health care.
You're not going to believe how beautiful it is.
Oh my God.
He is a swamp. I said he is a swamp creature who is only occasionally America first. You can't argue with that. I guess you can, but you'd be wrong. His most recent capitulation to the war machine by joining with Mike Johnson and Joe Biden via Ukraine was disgusting. A lot of people can't handle that he did that. I can't handle it. It drives me crazy. The one reason to vote for Donald Trump is because maybe there's two reasons: the border, and he wouldn't fund war the way they did. But now he's on board with their wars. He still wants credit for the disastrous COVID vaccine, which boggles my mind. And of course, there's this. Stop the protests now. Now, in this tweet, I said the vaccine is not a vaccine at all. Of course, that's not true. Of course it is. It's safe and effective, and it's a great vaccine. The FDA and the CDC say it's fantastic. I was saying that as a joke. I was saying that as a joke.
We made it so fast.
So that... So then here's a guy show who I've caught from time to time. He says, you actually think these protests have anything to do with Israel or Palestine? Yes. The fuck do you think they're for? Who do you think they're doing? You think they're out getting suspended from school for kicks? You think they're out there wrecking their chances to get employed for kicks? What the fuck do you think they're doing?
Hey, Coach Colin, they're going to be shipping them people over here soon as illegal immigrants.
That's right.
That's already in the news. You think that's a good idea to have them flatten their entire city and then refunded that, and they're going to come live next to us?
That's right.
You don't think that there might be a real issue?
You don't think that's okay? So
I didn't think BLM was trying to help black people. By the way,
he says, "LOL, you must have also thought BLM was trying to help black people."
Why would that even be correlated at all?
No. These movements, one has nothing to do with the other. These movements have been co-opted, ladies and gentlemen. You're seeing Marxists and communists trying to seize power in America.
The fuck are you talking about? What in the fuck are you talking about?
You know,
are we going to have socialized medicine like Israel?
We're never going to.
They were taken over by the commies.
That's right. Oh, I guess Israel was taken over by the commies because they have socialized medicine. They have Medicare for all.
They have to retire at a certain age.
That's right.
Except DNA tests are illegal there. That's one thing they're not allowed to have.
So disjointed, so disconnected from reality. It's all just repeating talking points you've heard. There's not. This isn't rooted or tethered to anything in reality. Marxists and communists are taking over. Did you know the Marxists and communists are going to take over in America?
Marxist.
We can't even get fucking health care in America. We can't even get affordable housing in America.
Even a hellhole.
We can't even get fucking minimum wage from a guy who said he ran on raising the minimum wage. We can't even get a public option. Joe Biden ran on his alternative to Medicare for all was the public option. Then didn't even fucking bring it up. You know who doesn't bring it up? Not only Joe Biden, but all your Marxist communists, your Jamal Bowmans, your AOCs, your Ilhan Omar. They never even fucking bring it up. Bernie Sanders, they never bring it up. This idea that Marxist communists, you are being ruled by the military-industrial complex and a handful of fucking billionaires.
Listen,
and that's the system you want to keep propping up.
Yes.
And Donald Trump, part of that system.
I like it. They have nothing to do with it.
I go,
not a single thing at all. You go, you think they have anything to do with Palestine? Israel? I see a lot of unhinged people there that are.
The reason why this didn't happen right away was because those people who voted for Joe Biden on those college campuses thought that eventually Joe Biden and the Democrats would do something about this. And now they realize they're not. And they've been lied to, and they've been duped by the establishment. And of course, what you're doing, what Coach Colin is doing, is siding with the establishment, not only the establishment economically in Congress and in the military, but he's also siding with the establishment at universities, the universities that you called Marxists and communists. I thought they were all lefty, crazy Marxist communists at universities, but you're now siding with the administration at these lefty Marxist communist universities. You realize that's because they're not. They're run by the establishment billionaires.
What are you a coach of? That's my main question.
People protesting wars, and I like Coach Colin. He's a nice guy. He's just completely, like the rest of the right wing, completely misguided on this.
You see what happened to Candace Owen on Daily Wire?
And tethered to nothing. So people protesting wars is always good. Zionist. But that's the game. They have to pretend that the people protesting don't know what they're protesting about. Otherwise, as Mike McRae said in our sketch today, that would make them right, because they are. So I responded and I said, people protesting wars is always good. How could you be against people protesting war? Zionists are anti-American and the opposite of America first. So if you're a Zionist, that's the opposite of America first. You're Israel first.
He's some kind of Christian Zionist. That's how.
That's got to be
That's what it is.
So the last of them. Every human rights organization in the world acknowledges that, and even Bobby Kennedy acknowledged that Israel's an apartheid state and an occupying force.
Bobby Kennedy acknowledged that?
He acknowledged that every human rights organization, including the UN, says that. He didn't acknowledge it himself. He acknowledged that everybody in the world except Zionists think that it's an apartheid state. Lots and lots of Jews oppose the genocide in Gaza. if you knew anything about the history of Israel, you would be protesting this war too.
There's only one history, the good book.
So do you know anything about the Balfour Declaration or anything about the Nakba?
I know about Abraham's covenant with God.
Okay.
I don't need to know about no Balfour.
So this guy says no one is protesting. They are virtue signaling, trying to get laid. That's what they said about people who supported Bernie Sanders in 2016. All the women, that's what they said. They said they said the women who were supporting Bernie Sanders, the young women, were just doing that to try to meet boys. That's what this is every which way to Sunday to try to dismiss protesters of a fucking war and genocide.
Most of them don't,
and this isn't new. This is what they do all the time.
Most of them don't know why they're there. That's why TikTok was banned, because they do know why they're there.
That's
what the TikTok ban was for, so that people in the future they won't know why they're there.
Yes.
But they know currently thanks to fucking TikTok.
And I said, well, I keep seeing these tweets where people claim to know that people protesting have no idea what they're protesting. Every person I know who opposes Zionism and the carpet bombing of Gaza knows exactly why they oppose it and want to protest it. I don't know anybody who doesn't know why they're protesting it. Every person I know who's protesting it knows exactly why. Every person who's against Zionism knows exactly why they're against Zionism. In fact, people who used to be Zionists before this war or this carpet bombing, this genocide, now reject their Zionism because guess what? They looked into it. Protesters have absolutely nothing to gain from protesting Zionism and everything to lose, including being arrested, having a criminal record, being kicked out of universities, and losing lucrative job opportunities. It makes Zionists feel better to discredit anti-war protesters by claiming they're mindless and don't know what they're doing, but that's what pro-war propagandists have always done to anti-war protesters. That's what they've always done. It's my experience that the people who are Zionists are the ones who really have little information about the situation. The ones I've talked to don't know anything about the Balfour Declaration. They don't know anything about the Nakba. And they don't know that Israel's an occupying force. They don't know that Israel and Netanyahu actually funded Hamas with suitcases full of money for the last 15 years and tried to discredit the moderate Palestinians so they could actually say we don't have anyone to negotiate with. That's what they don't know any of that. So the people who actually don't know what is going on are the people who are trying to discredit the protesters.
A bunch of these people do know that Israel, because I bring it up to them every single time before you even get an argument on anything. Or Hamas is bad. Why were they funding them? Is that your fucking fault that you punched yourself in the dick? Then
they tell me when they tell us like you guys support Hamas. I wasn't the one funding them. It was Netanyahu, the Likud party, and the Israel government.
The students aren't.
The students weren't funding.
Netanyahu's a danger to Israel. He actually did support. He didn't have a protest or a tweet about it. He sent them your fucking taxes, money. You moron.
That's right.
So shut the fuck up. Why aren't you throwing him in a goddamn Guantanamo for supporting terror? But they all treat it the same way they treat that, like they know that Rambo fought alongside the Taliban. Every fucking person still supports that shit. Yeah, we had to do that because the commies. I don't know. I don't look at Rambo, whatever. I move on. And so I don't hold America accountable for funding all the terrorists who kicked us in the dick, which maybe you should. Maybe you should then look at America.
We invented Al-Qaeda. We invented ISIS. We invented...
It's not an inside job. Are you joking? Best case scenario, it's an inside job based on funding the people who attack us all the time.
This lefties on... I thought lefties were the people running those universities. That's why they're all woke and you all hated universities. But now you're siding with the administration, the crazy woke administrators, because you realize that wokeness is just there to distract everybody so the fist of the billionaire class can actually rule. So we fight each other over stupid woke shit while they do what? They drain the treasury, the United States Treasury, and they fund war for economic gain. They blow up the Nord Stream pipeline. So now Germany and Europe has to pay 2, 3, 4 times the price for energy. Well, that we get 3 to 400,000 Ukrainians slaughtered over a proxy war that Putin never wanted. And Putin wanted to end, had a peace agreement signed by Ukraine, and then NATO wouldn't let it happen. And so right now we're giving billions and billions of dollars to Israel, who has socialized medicine. Are they a bunch of commies? So you're supporting a bunch of commies.
It's a theocracy with no civil marriage of any kind. Your marriage doesn't count.
That's right.
It's an orthodox, like
an
ethno constitution. So should we be more like them maybe? Because I thought that's our big fear of why we have to have Biden. We're going to become a Christian some nonsense. That guy, that's his church, is one of them old school Zion churches from 100 years ago.
I don't know. I just, and guys like Coach Colin, I can agree on a lot of things, but he certainly lost the plot when it comes to America First, Israel, who's actually running our universities.
Are they trying to get ahead in Hollywood? Is that why you think they're doing it? Or they're trying to get great showbiz jobs? The fuck are you talking about?
To support the Palestinians is death in Hollywood. It's death in Wall Street. It's death in corporate America. It's death. Right now, those people are being suspended and arrested.
Well,
guess what they didn't do to Black Lives Matter protesters? They didn't arrest them.
Yeah, they let
and they didn't stop them.
That's a great fucking fact, isn't it?
That's right. You have people. I'm going to show you in another clip. You have people like Anderson Cooper trying to discredit the protesters. Guess what they didn't do to Black Lives Matter protesters as they were burning down police stations in Atlanta? They said it makes sense. They had CNN reporters marching with them, going, "Yeah, all these people seem nice."
Hey, listen, Coach Colin. Obviously, there are competing billionaires. The eagle has two wings, Colin.
That's right.
There's obviously competing oligarchs that are for the Palestinians, okay? And that in no way invalidates what people are protesting. This is America, number one. So there's no such thing as a protest or anything in this devil country that you are a Christian in, supposedly, that doesn't have a rich asshole putting his fucking 2 cents in. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be hearing any of this unless there was opposing billionaires. Like, there's nothing commie going on here. It's all fucking 3 rich guys and their personal fights. Like it's World War I forever.
This is the stranglehold that Israel has on our country. And if you're against that, if you're actually America First, you would be against funding Israel and you would be against shutting down these protests because they're protesting Israel.
It's a lot of Jews protesting it.
A lot of Jews are protesting it. But so that just, again, you're America First when it's convenient. Hey, come see us do a live show. We're going to be in Denver, Colorado, May 11th, Los Angeles, California, doing a live panel show with a celebrity panel and video. Ashland, Virginia, Athens, Georgia, Rutherford, New Jersey, with Max Blumenthal, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Ontario, California, Irvine, California, Chicago, Illinois, with another celebrity panel, live video show in Chicago, and Grand Rapids, Michigan. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. jimmydore.com. for a link for tickets.